All right. Monday, July 26th. Very interesting day and night last night. Last night was the third day of a 3-day vision quest that I needed to get out of my system, get something out of my system. Basically, the stuff that happened the week prior. And what I did was I've been dancing to this CD that was from 2003. Came out, and I felt really connected to it back then, especially after my divorce, and I just felt it was just a really good CD to dance to, and it just felt so powerful. I danced to every song, and I completely forgot about the CD. Then, like about a month and a half ago, I just played it one day, and I started dancing with it in the backyard, and it felt good again. But it was different this time. It actually felt more like it was almost created for me or people like me that go through stuff in life and then feel that pain. And then instead of having that pain become a negative future or a negative situation, that pain then is transmuted into something then I can take forward. An idea, concepts, knowledge that helps me then understand where I am right now, why I'm not feeling the way I should, and how to change it. Now, watching me in the last 3 days, or watching some of the videos I posted, I got a lot of comments of people like wanting to help. What's the matter? What's going on? Are you okay? I'm here. And I appreciate all that. But sometimes people like me need to get away, to understand. After the first time I went to the hospital 2 weeks ago, and I got out, I was now understanding how I could be there and how I got in that trap. But then a lot of stuff started pouring out that I needed. And while I was at the hospital, especially both Monmouth and Jersey Shore, I connected with people there. These people that were there like me, that needed help. And the outside world does one of two things, because you don't understand what it is to be there unless you're there. The outside world thinks, these hospitals are helping them, so go stay, it's going to help you. Or they just turn their backs. And I saw this over and over again, heard people on the phone experiencing this. I experienced it myself. And in both cases, it's not what the people need at that point. What they need is to be able to understand why they feel that way, and then somehow get it out. I'm telling you, the experience that I had in these two hospitals did nothing for that. These people behind on my side of that glass partition had nobody, felt like they were caught in a place that just they didn't belong. They shouldn't be. There's a feeling that you feel when you're in a cage or in a box or something that will not go away. It's that feeling that you should not be there. Human beings should not be put in cages and boxes ever. Yet that's what they do. And even if it's a pretty box with a better bed and a nicer window than the cages, prisons, it's still a cage. So the idea is like, okay, if you're an addict or if you're mentally ill, we'll put you in this place. You'll feel trapped for a while. You'll feel that fear, and then when you go out there again, you'll feel that fear if you run back to your drug or choice, or if you stop taking the medication and your mental illness. So that fear is just pounded into us. That does nothing for people. People go out there, they start working a little bit, and they start feeling off again. End up back there one way or the other. So I understood that talking to these people and helping them deal with what they need, even for a short time, I'm assuming, based on what I felt, really did a lot. But the thing of it is, most of these people don't have money. Most of these people don't have the things that they need and the help they need to get them to a place where spirituality exists, right? These centers for people, they're geared more for people that have money to spend, because the rent is expensive, the instruments are expensive. I gotta make some kind of money to be able to pay my bills, right? So it all becomes expensive. So after coming out of that place, I felt like, wow, I learned a lot, but there was still something not there. So I went through the process of using that CD, Never Neverland by Uncle. I continued 3-day Vision Quest to try to figure out why exactly God, my spirit guides, put me there. Why then Saturday I ended up getting arrested, and what put me to the place where I was outside doing it, where I could have been inside the studio doing it, but instead I was outside doing it, which then annoyed somebody called the cops, and yada yada. And then the third night, which is Sunday, after I got all that stuff out on the window, money is the root of all evil. Every person sitting in a mental institution, every person sitting in a prison cage, every person sitting in a place where they feel alone, they're there because it's too expensive to treat them, right? The right way. So instead, we feed them pharmaceuticals and have insurance, and then they just end up back there. And pharmaceuticals. If any of you listen to that first shaman story, pharmaceuticals are not a good thing. Plant-based medicine should be the only type of medicine, honestly. It worked for thousands of years for the tribal cultures. 200 years for us, it's fucking killing us. Right? So last night, after painting all that stuff, I decided to go out there, and because every time I try to finish the album, I never could. I was stopped at the beach. I was stopped at the on Friday. I was stopped at the in front of my place here and arrested on Saturday, and then Sunday, I did it again. Cops came, and they were actually okay with it. They were across the street watching me. I said, "They're not gonna. I might be able to finish it." And then I was gonna do the last song. I was gonna take a crown of. I was gonna make a crown out of wire, right? And money, just whatever I had in my wall. I was gonna just stick it in there and put it in there and then make a crown of money to represent what the new crucifixion. What we do to ourselves every day. We allow money to really like control our lives and create all this. I mean, my God, you understand that every mental patient, every single one that's sitting in a mental hospital right now, if it wasn't so expensive, we could just teach them spirituality, teach them how to meditate, teach them how to do the good things, and we wouldn't have to push pharmaceuticals. So last night I still had that feeling. So I was frantically out there making this, because when Christ was walking out with that, they made him, kind of make that crucifixion for himself. He was just, So that's how I was out there, because this thing that I do, it's not a performance, it's a ritual for me. And I do it on this CD that for some reason is perfect for everything that and it was perfect in 2004, right? When I needed it then, and it was perfect now, 2021. So I got to almost the last song, and I was doing that, and then all of a sudden, the police start walking because I was putting stuff. I took a wad of money and I walked over to a garbage can and just threw it in the garbage can, thinking if somebody saw me, eventually they would. When I left, eventually they would go into that garbage can and take that money out. It is that important. They don't know how much it is. I could have thrown, I threw hundreds in there, right? Well, when I did all that, then the cops started coming. They were across the street walking over. And, these guys have been good here in Bradley Beach. I mean, they've been, they come around but they understand. Every time they come, I talk to them. I tell them what I'm trying to do, and they seem like they understand. But, they're working for people that are, they're protecting the rich. They're protecting the rich from the poor. So no matter what, they have to come. And yes, that doesn't mean who called them. The people whoever called them had to be rich, because they might not have been rich. But that's the process, though, I'm doing this because I'm trying to teach people something and they don't want to hear it, right? Maybe not at 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, if I do it at 2 o'clock in the morning, you might wake up and actually listen if you're not angry. But, you make mistakes in life, whatever. But so today, last night, and I was talking to him, and then something interesting happened. A woman from Monmouth County, a woman that actually works for Monmouth, that place I was, Monmouth Hospital, that place that I was last week. She would appear out of nowhere, walked into my studio and said to me, "Oh, okay, Mr. Euster, have you been taking your meds?" I said, "No, because I don't take. I told you, well, maybe I lied to you and said that I would take them, but I'm definitely not taking meds. I don't take meds. I don't take pharmaceuticals. I'm sorry." Well, and then she asked me some questions, and all of a sudden she nodded to the cops, and the cops it really seemed to me that they didn't want to do this. They were like, this doesn't seem right, because they treated me really well when they brought me in. And here I go again, being brought to Jersey Shore. I mean, again, and I didn't even fish, because what did I want to do with the crown was put it on my head, lay my body in a cross position over the greed, and try to transmute all that energy, all that negative energy, that's greed creating. I'm just trying to transmute it out of my body and then out of this world. Hey, why not? Give it a shot. I got nothing else to do. Maybe that's the thing that's bothering me. So I go to Jersey Shore today, and I feel what I feel. Trapped again, scared, in that same place where you just feel like you shouldn't be here. But what's been happening to me lately, and what's happening to basically me most of my life, is that I get put into situations, and I end up being sometimes scared, sometimes excited, sometimes frantic, whatever. But I get put in that situation by God or my spirit guides or something, some energy that pushes me there to try to figure out something. Because I'm good at figuring out things and coming up with solutions. I was good at doing that as a programmer, so I'm assuming I'm good at doing that, for life as well. So I'm looking around and I start talking to a woman that has her son there that's been there for 4 or 5 days, and she's from down south, and her son, is not doing well, and he stopped talking, and he had everything going from a wife, a girlfriend, or they have a kid, or their life. And then he's just completely stopped taking the meds, but. And another gentleman I talked to when I got to, because then they bring you into from the waiting area, the emergency room, to that room again with 4 or 5 and then the glass partition. Another gentleman that was going through some stuff. And I talked to him. And it really seems like it helped. He actually said to me before, I went to Catholic school, and I learned more about the Catholic religion talking to you in an hour than I did on going through school. And that's what I mean. It's like I said to him, that's what I mean. It's they teach you stuff that you don't need to know, just to waste your time. There's a message there, and then an entire book is created from it, to try to sell you the book. But the message is all you really need. And once you get the message, then you don't need the book or anything else, because the message is exactly what you need to do. And that to me has always been, and I find it throughout everything, greed, money, competition, profits. You need to rid that yourself. Money is the root of evil. Money is the root of all evil. The love of money. No, money is the root of all evil. That's stupid. If you think that loving money is not the same as actually money, because if you love money, then you love money more than human life. What does that mean? So money is the root of all evil. And and explain reincarnation and karma to him, and he's never really heard it, and he picked it up like that. You understand? He picked it up like that. So instead of teaching our kids the right stuff, they teach our kids the wrong stuff. And then these kids end up in mental institutions, doing things that they don't want to do just to get out of their head. And then the family members and the people around them are like, oh, what can I do for you? Can I help you? Let me throw you back into the same place that put you there. See, that's what you don't understand. So luckily today, they didn't send me to Monmouth. They kept me there for maybe, 15 hours, 16 hours. And then they released me. Today I was able to talk more about and explain what I was doing. It's hard to explain what you're doing to people that don't understand what you're doing. They think you're crazy when you try to explain that. And then after being released, I felt, oh, so good. I told both of those people. I actually met a woman too that had scars on her legs, and she's on bunch of different meds. And she was in there for pain. She was in pain, and they were sticking her into a place where she's mentally ill. That's what they do. Money, if it's too expensive to treat people, it's too expensive to hire, it's too expensive to do everything, then people suffer because of money. Because we rely on money to make our decisions for us instead of the heart. So I decided something coming back, because when I was around, I took a cab, pick up my car. I finally realized what exactly this has all been about in the last 3 weeks. I've had this center now for 5 years with a partner, and then myself, almost 6 years actually, and myself for about 6 months, 7 months, whatever this is now, 8 months now, this is December. And I realized that the people that really need the work that I do can't afford it, because I got to pay all this stuff, But that shouldn't matter, and it's not going to matter to me now. So I'm like that. Every one of those people that I met I offered them free sound healings when they come out. I wish this place could be something that I could offer for nothing and then still live. That is the society that I want to create. I want to be in. And if anybody out there, and if you know where that society is, can you tell me? The ones that offer the things that people need for free, so they don't have to suffer through not having it. Right? And what am I going to do? I'm going to go to Jersey Shore, and they got me there for a mental illness. I'm going to tell them, hey, this is you shouldn't be doing this way. You should be doing it this way. They're looking at me like I'm crazy. Period. Just walking in the door. But I realized that is what is that burning feeling in my soul. Because once I realized that is what I need to do now. I need to make this thing, free for people that need it. Not free for people that don't. Not free for people that want to come here and just kind of, chill. And people that really need it right now. That is the message I've been getting, and that is what I got pushed in. I got pushed into a place where and if anybody doesn't believe that these places that we put these human beings are nothing but like cages with pillows and a better bed, if you don't believe that, then get yourself in there and go take a look how much your freedom is removed. How you feel when your freedom is ripped away because of the thing that everybody loves more than human beings. And if you say to me, you don't love money more than human beings, yeah, really? Then give up everything that you have. Yeah, give up everything you have Everything, every single thing. Because everything you have was purchased by that thing, that thing that is enslaving humanity. Right? And that's my message that I was trying to give out to me. And those of you that still consider me crazy, and I'm John, you're running off a cliff, you're going. Please, man, you don't know me, and stop doing that, because that in itself is just as much of a problem than what I'm trying to deal with. Because the way you reacted to me, that's how they react to the people in there. And I saw those people in there that were lovely, beautiful people. I actually wouldn't have minded going there if I felt like I'd be in a cage again, which I don't want to feel like, and forced into medication that I don't want to take. So that is the reason I did everything. I didn't know what I was doing while I was doing it. And yeah, maybe I could have got hurt. But you know what? What you think it's any different than what we do every day? Going out there, dealing with people. You don't know who's gonna shoot you, who's gonna love you, who's gonna yell at you. That's what society is. It is, and it's not human beings, because when human beings at their lowest point, when they don't have the things that can make them more powerful and feel more powerful than somebody else, they don't have that worth. When people feel that sense of worth because they've got nothing and they're just sitting there, and they connect with somebody that is just like them, and they can understand them, understand both sides, their and mine. I mean, understanding both sides doesn't mean saying the other side is right. If you're wealthy and you keep on going around saying, "Oh, wealth is good. We're helping the poor. Wealth is good. We're helping," then you're not understanding what it is to be poor. Maybe we should rip you everything away, make you feel what it is to be poor. But no, that in itself, if you don't understand when you're down there what it is, then you'll just come back and reincarnate back and forth, poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, rich. But you're doing something that is not part of the natural order of the universe. And that is why it feels so wrong. And that is why we have war and all these things that are related to money. And at its core are created for money and by money, to protect money and keep it our God. And if you don't think money is your God, well, God bless you. And if you don't think that money can be a God because it's just a piece of paper, well, that's the trick, yeah? That's the devil's bargain. To convince you that what is enslaving you really is not. So that's what I learned for the last 3 days. And now tomorrow I'm going to open my center back up and do what I was doing before. But I'm going to be doing it with a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more understanding, and doing it for purpose, right? And that purpose has to come into fruition for me soon, because if it doesn't, then I'm going to feel this uncomfortable, and I'm just going to shut everything down again and try it again, because I need to do something. And you know, at the hospital, they would say, "Oh, well, you just have OCD or something. Take this pill and that'll go away." Right? And that's why we have what we have out there: people that are being sent messages, being told to do things, and because of all the struggle, and because it's close to impossible to do that, thinking that, how am I going to do that and eat? How am I going to do that and yeah? How are you going to do the good thing while your God is the bad thing? Namaste.